Welcome along to this week's edition of the BoyleSports Betzone with me, Nigel Seeley. 5 massive games in the Premier League live on the TV this weekend. And look ahead to a bumper weekend. The Premier League action is Gordon, Flash, Watson. My old mate, how are you?
I'm really good. Not as good as you, though. You've been on fire, haven't you?
I've got a bit of a cold, Flash. I can't get rid of it, mate. I've had it since New Year's Day. I just feel bunged up.
But the winners must be keeping you warm.
Oh, I don't know. You know, it's just getting me down.
Oh, is it one of them?
It's age. Well, anyway, I must admit, the Flash has been on the show the last few times you've been on. You've been probably one of our most profitable ex-footballers on the tips.
Really?
Well,
I think you're being too kind there.
No, I'm not being kind. I'm just showing you how bad the others actually are. So if you actually realise what you've done and you're top,
right?
You'll realise how bad.
I don't look, to be honest.
Well, you realise how bad Chris Perry,
is
Wally
bad?
Downs, Tony Cascarino are at this game. Very poor.
I've got you for my side then with them three.
Anyway, let's have a look at the weekend's football. We're going to start off on Saturday, 12:45, and arguably the biggest game in the Premier League this weekend. It's the North London derby between two in-form clubs. Tottenham, they host Arsenal at White Hart Lane. And Flash, this is a difficult game to call.
Massive. Tottenham, how can they not be favourites with the way they've been playing, scoring goals, winning home and away? And Arsenal just seem to be clicking, and that Champions League spot seems to be theirs. All their players back fit. This could be a real humdinger, this.
Yeah, you say two teams in form. Tottenham, 2 losses in their last 14 matches. Arsenal, 2 losses in their last 15, but they've won their last 6 games and they're scoring goals. Wenger probably doesn't know his best side, though, does he?
He's entitled not to know his best side. He's probably got 12 international midfielders, and obviously Walcott's now back, and I see players of proper quality not getting in their side. And I mean, this game, I can see it being like a basketball match, end to end. And if we get an early goal, it could be like from years gone by. This could be a 4-3, 4-2. It could be a mad game.
Well, if you look at the goal stats, 7 of the last 9 Tottenham games both teams have scored, and 5 of the last 6 Arsenal games both teams have scored, and also 5 of the last 6 games at White Hart Lane both teams have scored. So goals do look on the menu, don't they?
They certainly do, and I think you might get a bit of value with your first goal scorers. I mean, if you could get a centre half or someone going up from set pieces on for Tottenham to score, then you'd bring in Vertonghen, and with the Arsenal boys, the little 1-2s on the edge of the box brings in Walcott and Cazorla. So, I mean, I definitely see both teams to score.
They're both teams to score. We're a very popular bet here with BoyleSports, but the double bubble is back this weekend in the Premier League. Obviously, if you score, your winning selection scores the first goal inside the first 20 minutes, BoyleSports will double the odds on that winning selection. If you had to pick someone for the double bubble, Flash, who would your man be?
Oh, I'd like to pick one from each team, really. I think I'd go for yeah, I'd like to go for Vertonghen, really, from a set piece. Arsenal are rubbish at set pieces. I expect Tottenham to come out the traps, but if I was going for Arsenal, it'd probably be Cazorla, because he just takes penalties as well, and they've got so much pace in their side. I can see Arsenal getting a penalty at White Hart Lane. So 2 double bubble tips there for Flash. Vertonghen and Cazorla. I mean, you pay your money, you take your choice. One thing we all fancy here on the bet zone is goals. Both teams to score will be a popular bet on this game, and there could be absolutely anything if we do get an early goal. Okay, 5:30. It's derby weekend in the Premier League this weekend. It's a Merseyside derby. Everton, they host Liverpool up at Goodison Park. Big win last week for Everton, 1-0 at Palace. Massive, but they scored, and the good thing is they kept a clean sheet, which, I mean, years gone by, they've always been really tight at the back, but it's been not the case this year. Now, we said about Tottenham Arsenal, plenty goals. I see this being really, really tight. I can see this maybe being a 0-0 or a 1-0. 5 of the last 6 Everton games have seen under 2.5 goals, and if you look at Liverpool games, 6 of their last 7 games have seen under 2.5 goals. Yeah, I mean, listen, they're both flattered to deceive this year. People say that Liverpool, now they've got Sturridge back, that they're going to be a lot more balanced, and it gives you that quality. But if they only play one up front, then I think the Everton boys will deal with him. And you've got now Lennon, you expect him to play. He'll give you a little bit more firepower for Lukaku. I know Lukaku scored last week, but he's not had a good time of it this year. So I would definitely, I'll definitely go for unders. And I'm looking at maybe a 0-0 or 1-0.
0-0 or 1-0. Everton, big form. They've drawn 4 of their last 5 games, though. Liverpool, though, only 1 loss in 19 matches. Lots of draws in that period. 8 draws. And if you look, it was 1-1 early in the season at Anfield. And 5 of the last 7 games at Goodison Park have been under 2.5 goals. And Everton have drawn the last 2 of Liverpool, Goodison Park as well.
Yeah, I mean, for some reason, I fancy Everton maybe to get through this one. And if they don't get the draw, then I would say I would side with Everton. Maybe a Morales or a Lukaku goal.
So Everton double chance would be Flash's bet there. My best bet is under 2.5 goals in this game. I think Flash agrees with me on that one, which, unlike other pro footballers, I'm quite happy that Flash agrees with this. I don't want Chris Perry, Wally Downs, all the others to agree with me, but on Flash's occasion, I quite like it. They agree with me. Under 2.5 goals here is the bet for me, 20 to 23, and it's in my special enhanced treble with BoyleSports, which is available on the website now. Okay, moving on to Sunday. 3 live games on Sunday. And the first one, 12 p.m. On paper, doesn't look an interesting game. Burnley against West Brom. Burnley 8-5. You get 2-1 for West Brom and 9-4 a draw. The Burnley revival is over. They've lost their last 3.
I like Burnley. I think they've got good spirit. They've definitely got goals in them. Massive keeping Danny Ings. I mean, there's a lot of sides that are, should have, maybe could have got him. Obviously stayed where he was. Under Pulis, well, you know he's going to try and keep it tight. He'll keep it tight for about the first 94 minutes. So, I mean, I see Burnley winning this game. Maybe 2-1.
Burnley 8-5. You fancy Flash there? I think it's a very difficult game to call, as the BoyleSports odds compilers say there. You know, they really can't split the two things. But one thing on this game, if you look at this game, you don't expect goals. And you look at the stats, Burnley have conceded 9 in their last 3 games. They haven't kept a clean sheet since the 13th of December, and both teams have scored in 6 of the last 7 Burnley games. But on the flip side, go to West Brom. Both teams have scored only 2 in their last 7, so obviously the purest factor here. But if you look at this fixture, 10 of the last 11 years, both teams have scored. So these are very high-scoring games as well.
Yeah, the bit that I like about this game is the movement and the finishing of the Burnley boys against the statues of the centre-halves West Brom. I think that the Burnley forwards would probably lose these centre-halves in a telephone box. So for me, I expect Burnley to score first. I expect Burnley to win the game, although I do see it being quite a tight game.
Very bullish from Flash there. Very, very interesting stats. But one thing I'm going to say is, leave the gags to me. Both teams have scored 20-21. Burnley v West Brom. That's the second part of my enhanced treble. If you're looking at a goal score for the double bubble, anything to take your fancy there?
Oh, for Burnley, I mean, you can't really get past Ings, can you? I mean, everything seems to go through him. And as I said, one of the strikers for Burnley, I expect to score against the sleeping policeman of West Brom centre-halves.
I said leave the jokes.
Oh, are they jokes? Are they jokes?
Joke, but it wasn't a very funny one. But leave, please. You're the straight man, okay?
Right, okay.
Okay, obviously, if BoyleSports will do the double bubble, I've said that long before, but if you score in the first 20 minutes, any player in the Premier League this weekend scores in the first 20 minutes, and you happen to back that player for the first goal scorer, BoyleSports will double the odds on your winning selection. Okay, 2 o'clock on Sunday, Newcastle against Stoke. Newcastle 13-10 here. First win last week for John Carver in his new job against Hull, who are awful. Can he repeat this against Stoke?
Yeah, I think they've been pretty unlucky, to be honest. I think they got their tactics all wrong when they played against Southampton, played into their hands. I like Newcastle here. I think Stoke have done all right. I think that's probably about as good as they're going to get this year. Is probably just above mid-table. So for me, I quite like Newcastle. I think this could be maybe 2-3-1, 3-0. So I'm really bullish on Newcastle, and I like Perez to score first.
Only 3 wins in the last 18 for Newcastle, 8 losses in that period. But Stoke going quietly about their business. They've only lost once in their last 8 games.
Yeah, and that's just because everyone's expecting Stoke to play a certain way, and they've turned it right on their head. They don't go from back to front straight away. They try and play it. Well, they try and play against Newcastle. Newcastle are sharp. And remember, this is a Newcastle side that didn't get anything at Stamford Bridge, but really gave Chelsea a lesson for the first 25, 30 minutes. So I look for Newcastle to score early, and then they won't look back.
Well, I disagree with Flash completely in this game. I fancy Stoke to get something through. 19 goals in the last 6 Stoke games. 9 of the 10 games Stoke this season have been over 2.5 goals, and I fancy over 2.5 goals in a fixture that historically produces goal. And that's the third part of my treble, which is 8-1 with BoyleSports. Under 2.5 goals, Everton v Liverpool. Both teams have scored, Burnley v West Brom, and over 2.5 goals in Newcastle Stoke, and that is available on the BoyleSports website now. Okay, final game. We're talking about derbies. We've had the Merseyside derby, we've had the North End London derby. Now we have the Essex derby, 4 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. West Ham against Manchester United.
Yeah, I like that gag.
Yeah, it's good, isn't it?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I like Man United here. I do like Man United.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the Man United, obviously the way they're set up, they're perfect for a counter-attack. And with West Ham, I think that they're the biggest flatterers in the league now. I think they've got away with murder. And also, I look at their fixture list, and I think from last week, They play 6 of the top 7 or 8 sides. So for me, they're going to have a real tough run of it, and it continues tomorrow Sunday.
I couldn't disagree more. I think West Ham get something in this game. I think they're 3-1 with BoyleSports with a big price. Even money about West Ham, 13-5 the draw. They lost 2-0 last time against Liverpool, but at home they've only lost once in their last 11 games. And with that crowd behind them, I think there'll be a match for anybody. They'll be absolutely up for this game, and I fancy West Ham to do something. Both teams have failed to score in 5 of the last 6 Man United games, and both Both teams have failed to score in the last 3 West Ham games. So 1 or 2 goals will win this.
Yeah, probably 2-0, 2-1 Man United. And maybe that will be the one for West Ham, maybe a consolation late on. Again, like I did last time when I was on this show, I'm going to go for Falcao to score.
And did you lose on that occasion? Did you win on that?
No, he scored. Didn't score first.
The only time he scored. OK, West Ham have only won once in their last 7 matches against Manchester United at the Bowling Ground, but I think they'll change it around. And if Andy Carroll plays, he will be my selection for double bubble. I think he'll cause that Man United leaky defence, all kinds of problems, and I'm taking the Happy Hammers to beat Manchester United in the Essex Derby on Sunday at 4 o'clock. So good, I even said it twice. Flash, pleasure as always.
Top man, thanks.
What's your nap of the weekend?
I'm going to have to go with Newcastle to beat Stoke.
That would be my lay of the weekend. It really would. I'm going to.
One of us got it right.
I'm going to go for under 2.5 goals in Everton v Liverpool as my nap of the weekend. And don't forget my 8-1 treble, which is available now on BoyleSports website. See you all next week.